come here. Anything special you want to see while you visit?
Well, they want to see Pompeii, but no, I'd say we've been on tours before. They're rookies, but he's a pro. I mean, he owns a whiskey bar in Greensboro, North Carolina, and has a bourbon club there.
They just released it again that we can go into part of it. The new stills aren't ready yet, but we can go into part of it.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we're going to do that, and we'll drop down by the micro still, and it'll put us back down where the new fermenters are. And then we'll hit Pompeii, and we'll hit Warehouse P.
Good. Oh, cool.
They're doing new entry right now, so they've got some barrels stacked up down there, and we'll do that. And then we'll drop down to, we'll swing by here to give you a chance to use the restroom before we go down to H, because there's no restroom down there. But I want you to take all the pictures you can, take selfies, all right? If you don't have a good time while you're with me today, it's going to be your own fault. That's exactly right, all right. So try to imagine this. You're shipwrecked on a deserted island, and you're wandering around this old island trying to find something to survive on. And you stumble upon this cave, and back in this cave, you find this.
Have you heard?
So what's the first thing you're going to do, Nino? What's the first thing you're going to do?
OFC?
No. Nah, that's not the first thing you're going to do. The first thing you'll do, y'all going to send somebody back out and have them tear down that big send help sign that you put up because you don't want to be rescued for a while, right?
Send help in November.
Yeah. These are some of the most sought after bourbons and whiskeys in the world.
I had a handful in my place.
And so, as we take the tour today, I just want you to remember this room. And as my dad and my granddad used to tell me when I played here as a kid, they said, always look beyond the obvious. So the obvious becomes, there's always going to be old bottles and barrels of whiskey. But I want you to look at this group that Ed has assembled today. The interesting part of life is, friends and family won't always be around. And I call them memory moments. It's a moment in time that helps you to understand the significance of these products. And I'm going to lay it out to you in just 3 simple basic rules. And when I say these rules, you're going to start laughing because you've probably already done it. The first unspoken rule is this. You will never bring out things like this with people you don't like.
Amen. Amen.
I'm not even going to tell you I got it back in the closet because I don't waste any money on it. I don't waste any money with this thing. That's the first rule. The second rule is, if I do like you enough to drag out one of these old dusties, you have to listen to what I went through to get it before I pour you a drink, right? There's always a story.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the third rule is so important. The third rule is, no matter how happy I am to see you and how much I want to share that pour with you, if we're in a hurry to go do something else, it's not the right time to bring it out, is it?
Amen.
Isn't it funny? We only bring out things like this with friends we care about when time is not a factor. And if you've ever done it, I mean, it just happened to me this past weekend. You're sitting there with your friend, you're sipping a good pour, you're laughing, you're telling stories, and all of a sudden you nail the bottle. And somebody says, oh my word, look at the time. And you realize for a brief moment, you were enjoying the company of someone so much, time was not a factor.
Yeah, it just went. It just
Didn't matter. So that's really what this is about. So when you look at it from another perspective, it becomes obvious that the liquid, that amber-colored liquid in the bottle, is nothing but a conduit. It is something that provides you the opportunity to spend time with someone you truly enjoy being with. So that's why they're called sipping bourbons, is because they're loaded with all these subtle nuances. And when you sip on them, all of a sudden, little bit by little bit, the enzymes in your mouth get a chance to gradually break them down. And that's why they linger. You're telling a story, and that story is going with these wonderful tastes and all this feeling that I'm getting. And by the time you finish your story, it reminds you of something. And so then I take another sip. And next thing you know, we're doing another pour from the bottle. So that's why I was telling folks what happened to me with my own dad. If you've seen the documentary Neat,
Yeah.
when I tried to put the cork back in the bottle, oh, my dad just gave me a fit. And so I asked Drew Mabel, who is our master blender, about doing something like that. He said, Freddie, it's amazing. He says, when you are doing a good wine, you give everybody a pour from the bottle, and you put the cork beside the bottle to let the bottle continue to breathe. But with that good bottle of bourbon, as soon as you give them that pour, you slap that cork back in it and push the bottle out of the way, which says one and done. He said, if you really want to watch the reaction of folks, you give everybody a pour and put the cork next to the bottle, but continue to make eye contact with them. Like, it's okay to have another pour if you want. When I asked him about that, he says, most people think that the whiskey is going to oxidize, it's going to ruin the whiskey, so that's why you put the cork back in the bottle. He said, in that brief period of time, because of the way the neck of the bottle is designed, he says, it changes the taste of the product very, very little. But the image and the perception that people have of you when you do that is far greater than those few little molecules you're going to lose out the neck of that bottle. Isn't that crazy?
Sure.
All right, so what you're going to do when you guys get back, I'm going to do this barrel pick, and I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Just do it and remember us being here together. The first bottle from that barrel pick, you're going to open it up. Y'all are going to do a toast together, and everyone is going to sign and date that bottle. And you can give it to Ed, or you can give it to someone whoever's responsible for this particular charity. All right, and you can, but it becomes a memory moment. And then every time that they open up that bottle, whoever they give a pour from that bottle, get them to sign and date the bottle. And it's amazing. You'll get a cool little timeline of people that you've shared a pour with, but it gives you a story to tell every time you pour with who you shared that drink with.